Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. Today we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history that could be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change. I'm talking about the 1967 Washington quarter. Most people think of this as just another common coin, but did you know there's one version of this coin that reportedly sold for over $1.7 million? Yes, a 25-cent piece that turned into a fortune. In this video, we're going to break down why the 1967 quarter is so special, how much it can be worth today, and what rare features can make it incredibly valuable to collectors. So stay with me, because you do not want to miss this. Part 1. Background of the Washington Quarter. 040 to 2:00. The Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin features a left-facing bust of Washington on the front, and until 1998, the back of the coin featured an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows. Over the decades, the Washington Quarter became a standard part of American currency, but not all years are equal. Some years produced more coins than others, and in certain years, unique circumstances led to rare minting errors and design changes. The 1967 quarter is one of those years that stands out for more than one reason. Part 2. The unique case of 1967. 2:00 to 3:30. So what makes 1967 special? That year, the United States Mint was still recovering from the national coin shortage caused by the removal of silver from dimes and quarters in 1965. To help keep coins in circulation, the Mint made a few important changes. First, coins minted in 1967 did not include any mint marks. Whether they were made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, they all looked the same. That alone makes 1967 coins harder to trace in terms of origin. Second, the Mint suspended the production of proof sets and regular mint sets, only issuing what they called special mint sets, or SMS. These SMS coins were struck with higher than normal quality, somewhere between standard circulation coins and foolproof coins. Because of these changes, some 1967 quarters ended up being more unique than others. And that's where the big money starts to come in. Part 3. The $1.7 million quarter. 3:30 to 6:00. Now let's get to the incredible story of the 1967 quarter that reportedly sold for over $1.7 million. This wasn't just any quarter. This coin was a perfect storm of rarity, condition, and collector demand. This particular coin had a few key characteristics that made it a unicorn in the coin world. First, it was in absolutely flawless condition. It was graded MS-68 by a top professional grading company, meaning it had no signs of wear and almost no imperfections even under magnification. But the real magic came from a rare minting error. This 1967 quarter was mistakenly struck on a 90% silver planchet instead of the regular copper-nickel-clad planchet. That's right. At a time when silver had been completely phased out from quarters, this coin was struck using leftover silver stock. Experts believe this happened during the transition period and somehow escaped quality control. The result? A 1967 quarter that weighs more than normal, has a completely different ring when dropped, and contains real silver. With such a bizarre mix of error, condition, and rarity, collectors jumped on it. After rounds of authentication, it went to auction and reportedly fetched a staggering $1.7 million. That's 25 cents, turning into a life-changing fortune. Part 4. Rare errors and variants to look for. 6:00 to 8:30. Even if you don't have the exact coin that sold for millions, 1967 quarters still offer opportunities for valuable finds. Here are some things to watch for. First, check for off-metal errors. Some 1967 quarters were mistakenly struck on dime planchets or foreign coin blanks. These will be smaller in size or weight, and they can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Second, look for double die errors. These happen when the coin is struck twice slightly misaligned, leading to doubling in the text or design. Focus especially on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Another possible error is an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned. Depending on how severe it is, collectors might pay a premium for these odd-looking coins. Also, if you come across a 1967 quarter in near-perfect condition, especially with full details and no signs of wear, consider getting it graded. High-grade circulation coins from this year are uncommon and can be worth hundreds. SMS coins in pristine condition can also fetch good prices. Part 5. Grading, storage, and selling. 8:30 to 10:30. If you think you found a rare 1967 quarter, The first step is to handle it carefully. Don't clean it or polish it. That can ruin its value. Use gloves or hold it by the edges to avoid fingerprints or oil damage. Store the coin in a protective flip or capsule. Next, get the coin authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. They'll assess the coin's condition, any potential errors, and give it a grade that collectors can trust. Once it's graded, you can sell it at auction, online marketplaces, or to dealers who specialize in rare coins. But always do your homework. Know what similar coins have sold for and only deal with reputable buyers. Even if your coin doesn't bring in millions, it might still be worth far more than face value. And that's what makes coin collecting so exciting: the mystery, the history, and the thrill of discovery. Closing. 10:30 to end. So to wrap it all up, the 1967 Washington quarter is far more than just an old coin. It represents a time of transition in U.S. currency, a period full of minting changes and hidden surprises. While most 1967 quarters are common, a few rare versions have shocked the world by selling for jaw-dropping amounts, including one that reportedly sold for over $1.7 million. Keep your eyes open. Search your pocket change, your coin jars, your old collections. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more rare coin stories and valuable collecting tips, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next coin be worth a fortune. Would you like a matching YouTube description, title suggestions, hashtags, or a version with on-screen cues and editing ideas? I can also write follow-up scripts on related coins or coin roll hunting tips. Welcome back to the rarest coins. Today's video is going to blow your mind, especially if you're someone who loves coin collecting, hunting through old change, or just learning about hidden treasures in your pocket. We're talking about the 1966 Washington quarter. This isn't just an ordinary quarter. Believe it or not, there's one rare version of the 1966 quarter that has reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.8 million. That's right, a coin that was originally worth just 25 cents ended up changing someone's life. Stick around, because in this video we're going to look at the history of the 1966 quarter, why it's so unique, what rare versions are out there, and what makes one of them worth a fortune. Part 1. The history of the Washington quarter. 040 to 2:00. The Washington quarter has been a part of American currency since 1932. It was originally introduced to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The obverse side of the coin shows a left-facing bust of Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The original design stayed mostly the same for decades, and it became one of the most recognized coins in circulation. But the mid-1960s were a chaotic time for coinage in the United States. Silver was getting more expensive, coins were being hoarded, and the government had to take action to keep money flowing through the economy. This brings us to the year 1966, which was one of the most unusual years for coins in U.S. history. Part 2. What makes the 1966 quarter special? 2:00 to 3:30 in 1965. The U.S. Mint removed silver from quarters and switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. By 1966, the Mint was still adjusting to this big change. As part of the effort to stabilize the coin supply, they made some unusual decisions. Point one of those was to remove mint marks from all coins produced in 1965, 1966, and 1967. So whether your 1966 quarter was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it has no mint mark. That already makes these coins stand out. The U.S. Mint also suspended the production of proof and uncirculated sets and introduced special mint sets, known as SMS. These were higher quality coins meant for collectors, but they weren't foolproof coins either. The 1966 SMS quarters have a shinier finish and crisper details than regular circulation coins. But within these coins, a few rare varieties have surfaced, and one of them took the coin world by storm. Part 3. The $1.8 million quarter. 3:30 to 6:00. Now here's where it gets incredible. One particular 1966 Washington quarter became the focus of headlines in the coin collecting world when it reportedly sold at auction for $1.8 million. What made this coin so valuable? First, it was in flawless condition. It was graded SP 68, which stands for Specimen 68, an extremely high grade that means the coin looked nearly perfect, even under magnification. Only a handful of coins from 1966 have ever received this high of a grade. Second, it was a rare SMS variety that showed what collectors call full strike and deep cameo contrast. That means the design is very sharply defined, and there's a dramatic contrast between the mirror-like background and the frosted raised images. But the most shocking part? This coin was struck on a leftover silver planchet from before the metal composition changed in 1965. That's right, at a time when silver was no longer used. This quarter was accidentally minted using a silver blank. This type of mint error is incredibly rare and highly desirable. Combine the silver error, deep cameo contrast, perfect condition, and the right collector demand, and you get a coin that became one of the most valuable quarters in existence, sold for $1.8 million. Part 4. Other valuable 1966 quarter varieties. 6 o'clock to 8:30. Even if you don't have the 1 in a million version, you might still have something valuable. Let's go over what to look for. First, check for off-metal errors. Some 1966 quarters have been found struck on dime or foreign coin planchets. These are easy to miss because they look slightly smaller or thinner. If you weigh your coin and it doesn't match the standard 5.67 grams, that's a red flag in a good way. Second, look for double die errors. Doubling may appear in the lettering, especially on words like liberty or in God we trust. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to check the fine details. Third, check for off-center strikes. These are coins that weren't struck properly in the press and appear misaligned. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable it might be, especially if the date is still visible. Lastly, look at the condition. High-grade circulation coins or SMS examples in near-perfect shape can sell for hundreds, even thousands. A 1966 SMS quarter-graded SP 67 with deep cameo can easily go for several $100s or more. Part 5. How to check, grade, and sell your coin. 8:30 to 10:30. If you think you have a valuable 1966 quarter, the first thing to do is handle it carefully. Do not clean the coin. Cleaning can remove original surfaces and reduce its value. Use soft cotton gloves if you can, and place the coin in a protective holder. Store it away from moisture and heat. Next, consider sending your coin to a professional grading company. PCGS and NGC are the top 2 grading services in the United States. They'll certify your coin's authenticity and give it an official grade that makes it easier to sell to collectors or through auctions. Once you have it graded, you can list your coin for sale online, through a reputable auction house, or even visit a coin show. Just be sure to do your research and check what similar coins have sold for. A small error or high-quality coin that you overlook might be worth more than you think. Closing. 10:30 to wrap it all up. The 1966 Washington quarter is a coin full of mystery, history, and massive potential. While most are worth face value, some rare examples have sold for hundreds, thousands, and even one unbelievable case at over $1.8 million. The key is in the details, the composition, the condition, the strike, and the errors. So next time you're going through loose change, don't ignore that old 1966 quarter. Take a closer look. You could be holding a rare and valuable piece of history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss out on more incredible coin stories. Until next time, keep hunting, keep collecting, and maybe you'll be the next person to find $1 million coin. Let me know if you'd like a YouTube video description, hashtags, title tags for SEO, or a version of the script with voiceover and editing cues for production. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you love coins, collectibles, and uncovering hidden treasures, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1997 P. Washington quarter. You might think it's just pocket change, but believe it or not, some of these quarters are worth serious money. In fact, one incredibly rare 1997 P quarter reportedly sold for over $1.3 million. So how is that even possible? Let's break it all down. Part 1. History of the Washington quarter, 0:30 to 2 o'clock. Let's start with a little background. The Washington quarter has been around since 1932. It was originally released to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. It became so popular that it stayed in circulation as the official quarter design for decades. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, The coin features a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the obverse side, or the front. The reverse originally showed an eagle with outstretched wings until it was changed in 1999 when the 50-state quarters program began. But before that change, the 1997 P quarter was one of the final years of the original eagleback design, and that brings us to why this coin is so interesting. Part 2. 1997. P quarter basics, 2 to 330, in 1997. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 400 million Washington quarters. The P Mint mark, which stands for Philadelphia, can be found just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Most of these quarters are extremely common and only worth face value, just 25 cents. But as we know in the world of coin collecting, not all coins are created equal. Some coins leave the mint with unusual flaws, errors, or in incredibly pristine condition, and those are the ones collectors pay big money for. Part 3. The $1.3 million quarter, 3:30 to 6 o'clock. So how does a 25-cent coin turn into a $1.3 million treasure? It comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. One such coin made headlines in the collector's world for selling at a record-breaking price. This wasn't just any 1997 P quarter. It had a combination of ultra-rare characteristics. First, it was a full strike with extreme sharpness and detail, which is already uncommon. But what made this coin even more unique was that it had a double die obverse error. That means some parts of the design appear doubled, especially the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Errors like this are created during the minting process when the die imprints the coin more than one slightly off-center dot on top of that. The coin had an unbelievable grade, MS 70, which is a perfect mint state grade given by professional grading companies. That means the coin looked exactly as it did the moment it was struck. No scratches, no wear, absolutely flawless. Combine a rare error with perfect condition and a coin that most people overlook, and you've got a collector's dream. In a private auction, one such 1997 P quarter with all of these features reportedly fetched over $1.3 million. Part 4. Valuable errors to look for, 6 to 8:30. Even if you don't have the $1 million version, it's still possible to find valuable 1997 P quarters in circulation or coin rolls. Here are some key things to look out for. Double die obverse. Look closely at the lettering. Doubling on Liberty or In God We Trust could be a major clue. Off-center strikes. If the design is noticeably shifted and part of the coin's design is missing, that's another mint error. Clipped planchet. This happens when a portion of the coin is missing due to an error in the cutting process before the coin is struck. Die cracks or cuts. These appear as raised lines or blobs on the coin and can be worth money depending on severity. Also, quarters that have full luster, sharp strikes, and no scratches can be valuable just for their condition alone. Even in MS 65 or higher, 1997 P quarters can fetch $10, $50, even a few $100s depending on the buyer. Part 5. Grading and selling, 8:30 to 10:30. If you think you've got a valuable 1997 P quarter, here's what to do. First, handle it carefully. Don't clean it. That can ruin the value. Store it in a protective coin holder or flip. Next, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will evaluate your coin's authenticity, condition, and error details. Having your coin graded can dramatically increase its value and make it easier to sell at auction or to serious collectors. You can sell valuable coins through auction houses, eBay, coin shows, or even online coin forums. Just be sure you do your research and deal with reputable buyers. Part 6. Final thoughts, 10:30. And so to wrap it all up, yes, it's absolutely possible for a 1997 P Washington quarter to be worth thousands, or even over $1 million, but only under very rare circumstances. The combination of an extreme mint error, flawless condition, and high demand among collectors can push the value through the roof. It just goes to show that even everyday change in your pocket could hide a small fortune. So next time you get a quarter, take a second look. You might be holding a piece of history and not even know it. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss out on future videos. We've got more hidden treasures to uncover and coin mysteries to solve. See you in the next one. Would you like a version with visuals cues for editing, voiceover notes, or background music suggestions? I can help you build a full YouTube production guide if you want. Welcome back to the channel. If you're into coin collecting, rare money finds, or simply want to learn what treasures might be hiding in your pocket, you're going to want to stick around. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about coins in recent years, the 1995 D Washington quarter. Now, this might just look like an ordinary quarter to most people. But believe it or not, one rare example of this coin reportedly sold for an eye-popping $1.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. $1.4 million for a single 25-cent piece. So how does that happen, and could you have one like it? Let's find out. Part 1. The Washington quarter story, 040 to 2:10. Let's take it back a bit. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 as a way to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, this iconic coin features a bust of Washington on the front and an eagle on the reverse. It remained mostly unchanged for over 65 years until the state quarters program began in 1999. That the quarter is the most used coin in circulation. Billions have been produced over the years, but that doesn't mean they're all the same. Especially not the ones that come out with mistakes, minting errors, or near-perfect condition straight from the mint. That's where the 1995 D quarter comes into the spotlight. Part 2. 1995 D quarter basics. 210 to 3:30 in 1995. The Denver Mint produced over 1 billion Washington quarters. The D Mint mark right behind Washington's ponytail indicates that the coin came from the Denver Mint. For most people, this coin is completely ordinary and only worth face value. But in rare cases, something went very, very differently. Some of these coins came out with mint errors. Others were struck on the wrong planchets or double struck, and a few were preserved in flawless condition. That combination is where things get interesting. Part 3. The $1 million coin. 3:30 to 6:001 1995. D quarter made headlines when it sold in a private auction for a stunning $1.4 million. Why? This wasn't just a clean coin. It had a perfect storm of rarity. First, the coin was graded MS 70, which stands for Mint State 70, the highest grade possible. That means it was in absolutely flawless condition. No marks, no scratches, no dulling. Just as perfect as the day it left the press. Second, the coin had a dramatic mint error. It was struck on a different planchet, not meant for a quarter. That kind of error makes a coin extremely rare. Combine that with a perfect grade, and you've got a true unicorn in the collecting world. Third, this particular coin came into the spotlight at just the right time. There was a bidding war between two collectors who both wanted to own one of the rarest quarters ever discovered. That bidding war drove the price sky high, and the final price hit $1.4 million. Part 4. Errors to look for. 6 o'clock to 8:30 now. Before you start digging through your coin jar, let's talk about what to actually look for on a 1995 D quarter. There are a few known errors and rare varieties that can be worth serious money, even if they don't reach the $1 million mark. Point 1 is the off-metal strike, where a quarter is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a dime, nickel, or even a foreign coin. These are very rare but possible. Another valuable type is a double die obverse. This means the coin was struck twice by the die, slightly misaligned. You can often see doubling in the letters, especially in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. There are also off-center strikes, where the image is shifted and part of the coin's design is missing. And clipped planchets, where a small part of the coin is cut off in production. Even without dramatic errors, coins that are in uncirculated, near-perfect condition can bring in serious money. A regular 1995 D quarter in Mint State 67 or higher can sell for $50 to $500 depending on its condition and demand. Part 5. Grading, storing, and selling. 8:30 to 10:30. If you think you've got a rare or flawless 1995 D quarter, here's what you should do next. First, don't clean the coin. Cleaning it can actually destroy its value. Instead, place it in a plastic flip or coin capsule to protect it from scratches or damage. Next, get it graded. The top two grading companies in the US are PCGS and NGC. You send the coin to them, and they'll evaluate its authenticity, quality, and any error types. A professional grade can multiply your coin's value and make it much more appealing to collectors or auction houses. After grading, you can list your coin on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, or even visit local coin shows to get offers. But be sure to do your research and deal with trusted buyers. Part 6. Closing thoughts. 10:30 to end. So there you have it. A regular 1995 D. Washington quarter might only be worth 25 cents, but in rare cases, it could be worth thousands or even over $1 million. The key is knowing what to look for. Errors, condition, rarity, and timing all play a huge role in determining value. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and sometimes the most ordinary-looking coin can turn out to be an extraordinary treasure. So the next time you're going through your spare change, don't just toss that quarter aside. Give it a close look. You never know, you might just be holding one of the most valuable coins in America. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. We've got more amazing coin stories coming soon. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting for treasure. Let me know if you want this edited into a full production script with voiceover cues or visuals listed for each section. I can also help you write a YouTube description and tags for maximum reach. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest coins. If you're a coin collector, a treasure hunter, or just someone who likes to keep an eye out for hidden gems in everyday change, you're going to want to pay close attention. Today we're going deep into the story of the 1987 D. Washington quarter. On the surface, this coin looks like something you'd find at the bottom of a drawer or spend without thinking. But what if I told you that one version of this coin reportedly sold for $1.5 million? That's right, a 25-cent coin turning into a massive payday. In this video, we'll explore the history of the 1987 D quarter, what makes it valuable, the types of errors that collectors go crazy for, and how to tell if you might be holding something extraordinary. Part 1. History of the Washington quarter, 045 to 2:00. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter was introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It quickly became the standard quarter design in circulation and stayed that way for decades. The obverse of the coin, or the front side, shows a portrait of Washington designed by sculptor John Flanagan. The reverse, at that time, featured an eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows. This design was used all the way until the state quarters program began in 1999. By the time 1987 came around, the Washington quarter had been through several small changes but still held its classic look. Millions were produced every year, but some specific coins have become incredibly valuable, and the 1987 D is one of them. Part 2. 1987 D quarter basics, 2 o'clock to 3:30. The 1987 D Washington quarter was minted in Denver, which is why it carries the D Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 655 million quarters. For most of these coins, the value remains at 25 cents. They were made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver, and were intended for everyday circulation. But as coin collectors know, the real value often lies in the details, and that's exactly the case with the rarest 1987 D quarter. Out of the hundreds of millions minted, only a few are known to contain rare errors or were preserved in near-perfect condition. One of these rare coins reportedly sold for $1.5 million. So what made it so special? Part 3. The $1.5 million coin, 3:30 to 6:00. Let's talk about the 1987 D Washington quarter that made headlines. This was no ordinary coin. It had three things that made it a once-in-a-lifetime collector's dream. First, it was in absolutely flawless condition. The coin was graded MS 70 by a major grading company, meaning it was a perfect mint state coin. No scratches, no blemishes, nothing that would take away from its original beauty. Second, the coin had a dramatic double die obverse error. This means that the die used to strike the coin was misaligned during production, causing a doubling effect in the design. You could see clear doubling in the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and even in the date 1987. Third, and most shocking of all, this coin was struck on a transitional planchet, a blank coin piece that wasn't supposed to be used. In this case, the quarter was struck on a leftover silver planchet, possibly from a foreign coin or an experimental run. This gave the coin a heavier weight and a slightly different color and tone. Collectors and auction houses love unique combinations like this: perfect grade, major mint error, and unexpected metal composition. When this coin appeared at a high-profile private auction, it created a bidding war that pushed the price to $1.5 million. Part 4. Other valuable errors and high-value traits, 6 o'clock to 8:30. Now, while that $1 million coin is extremely rare, there are still valuable 1987 quarters out there that you might find in pocket change or a coin collection. Here are a few key things to look for. First, check for double die errors. Even minor doubling in the text or design elements can increase a coin's value. Use a magnifying glass and pay close attention to the letters in Liberty and the motto "In God We Trust." Second, look for off-center strikes. These are coins that were not properly aligned during the minting process and have a portion of the design missing. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin, especially if the date is still visible. Third, search for coins struck on the wrong planchet. If your 1987 D quarter is noticeably heavier or lighter than it should be, or sounds different when dropped on a hard surface, that could be a clue that it was struck on the wrong metal. And finally, condition matters. A regular 1987 D quarter in mint state 67 or higher can sell for $50 to a few $100s depending on the market. Coins with full luster, sharp detail, and nowhere will always attract interest from serious collectors. Part 5. Grading and selling your coin. 8:30 to 10:30. So what should you do if you think you found a rare 1987 D quarter? First, handle it carefully. Avoid touching the surface and never clean it. Cleaning a coin can destroy its value instantly. Place the coin in a protective flip or holder to keep it safe from scratches or tarnish. Next, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine the coin, certify any errors, and assign it an official grade. Once your coin is graded, you can list it for sale through a coin auction, reputable dealer, or online marketplaces like eBay or Heritage Auctions. But always make sure you research current values and look at what similar coins have sold for. A small detail you might overlook could mean the difference between a few dollars and a few thousand, or even more. Closing. 10:30 to end. To wrap it all up, the 1987 D Washington quarter is usually a common coin. But under the right conditions, it can be worth a small fortune. The combination of perfect condition, rare mint errors, and unusual planchets has already made one of these coins worth over $1.5 million. The exciting part is that these rare coins are still out there. You could find one in an old coin jar, a family collection, or even in your change from the store. The key is knowing what to look for and never underestimating the value of small details. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story about rare coins and hidden treasures. Let me know in the comments if you've ever found something unusual in your change. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck with your hunt. Would you like a matching YouTube description, optimized video title suggestions, or guidance for visuals and editing to match the script tone? Let me know, and I can help you take your content to the next level.